Ashish Pethe ji from Waman Hari Pethe. Thank you so much, sir, for joining me once again.
Pleasure.
And I'm glad to see, sir, you're wearing your gold kada as well. We want to know this journey. Like I said, it's always been a great high. It's a matter of pride and prestige to the extent where people put gold plating on their cars to stand out. It's a symbol of I am successful.
Yes.
When you started off, did you think of it as that kind of business? Because family mein it's a business. So perspective alag rehta hai. What was it like when you started off?
Interesting. Actually, when I started, I'm electrical engineer by education.
Right.
I've done my MBA in marketing and I was in advertising, so
Right.
to say. But then came a time that my dad said, boss, you have to decide now. So that's when I came back.
Right.
And I realized that you have to consume something that you're selling. So that's when I started wearing jewelry. Interesting. And what I was proud was the legacy that our forefathers had created. Our company was started in 1909 by our founders, my grandfather and his brother. And they came from Nasik and they had no money at that time. And from there, they started the entrepreneurial journey. And it is all because of
pre-independence and the stories itni amazing hongi na?
Yes. So initially they had a setback of a large amount when they were young. But they overcame that and started. And we initially started with pearls. Okay. Because that was the thing at that time. And then slowly we expanded into a one-stop shop. And then their children and then our third generation and now even fifth generation is also there. And after Indian economy opened up, we realized that the customers' incomes have started going up. The disposable incomes have gone up. People are willing to spend, but they are not willing to travel. So instead of customers coming to us, you have to go to the customer. Otherwise, the local jewelers will start getting bigger and we'll lose the business. So we started expanding around 15-20 years back. And from 2 stores, we are now 25 stores spread across 3 states. So that has been the journey. But what our founders did, Waman Hari Pethe and Ganesh Hari Pethe, we can do just a percentage of that because it's impossible to replicate that.
Absolutely, very different time also. And I think, with jewelry, trust is the biggest word.
Yes.
You just have to build that trust because otherwise, like you said, there's so many mushrooming everywhere.
Yes.
But the knowledge is very difficult. Even if you go reading up, चाहे वो diamonds हो, चाहे वो gems हो, चाहे वो gold हो, you can still be cheated because you don't know much. And whatever we take, हमें क्यों sir please हम अपनी life savings लेके आए. A lot of people talk like that.
Right.
Building the trust must be very difficult. Like people say that they have background checks, QCs, this that.
Right.
So a lot of time must be spent in that also, right?
Absolutely. Trust is not built in a year or two.
Yeah.
So it has to be right behavior, right moral values year after year. I'll give you an example how we built relations with our consumers. My dad's friend was buying an asset.
Right.
Gold is an asset which generally people sell only when they want to move up in life or if they're in difficulty. So he was buying a property.
Right.
So he brought all his wife's jewelry and he gave it to us. Please buy it for me and I want money to sell it. But he was killing inside. I have sold my wife's jewelry.
Yes.
So after 6-8 months he came back and he said, I want to make the same jewelry. So what my father said, okay, here is your jewelry. I did not melt it because I had confidence in you that you will come back and buy it.
Wow.
So then he is a customer for lifetime and for many generations. So these kind of stories are there which have built our connect with our consumers. So we have 4 generations of customers, 3 and 4 generations of team members, 3 generations of vendors, and 5 generations of owners.
My God.
So we believe in relationships and long-term relationships, and that has been the key secret of our longevity.
And I think also you slowly diversify. This is not a business that you start scaling up very fast. It's very important to make sure pair jamaye rakhna hota hai. So I think it's very important. Gold in itself also has had some great cycles,
Yes,
and the younger generation, when they get money, they might want to go into equity markets and, some of them want, like, as you said, houses and disposable items. Do we still have a culture of buying gold biscuits, gold bars and those kind of things? Or is today jewelry then number one and 99% of the purchases. Because sometimes when people say that, when you buy gold and make it into jewelry, you lose money on making and all that. So they think that, some of my friends say you should buy these little coins or these biscuits. Is that something that is a general practice that people do follow or no?
See, if you consider out of 100%, about 15% is this bars and coin sales in the country. Around 1,000 tons is the Indian jewelry market.
Right.
Out of which 10 to 15% is in coins and bars, so to say. But I would say, even if you are putting in 10%, 12%, 15% of gold value as making charges,
right,
gadai mein. But gold goes along with inflation. So over a period of time, that 10-15% that you have given becomes irrelevant.
Yes.
If you look at when I joined business, the rate was 2,500 for 10 grams.
Okay.
And now today we are sitting at 60,000 rupees 10 grams.
Wow.
So it has taken care of all the inflation.
Right.
There is a story that goes that if you are buying a house in Bombay,
right,
what you would buy in 5 kilos of gold 20 years back, the price of that flat has gone up. Today also you can buy it in 5 kilos of bar.
Wow.
So gold has taken care of the inflation. So that is most important. And it is store of value.
Yeah.
And if you want to store your funds or money with yourself, you can store it in a small quantity.
Yeah.
So I think that is important. Everyone should invest in gold like an SIP that you do in equity. Similarly, for every month or whatever interval you want, you keep investing, you'll get an average rate.
Yeah.
And after 5-10 years, it will grow. And even all the equity guys and investment consultants say about 10 to 15% of your portfolio should be in gold.
Where do you see is the most buying that happens? Do you think Mumbai as a city, considering you sit here also, do you think there's more buying in the north of India, south of India, or this part?
South of India is the biggest consumer. So out of the whole India market, 40 to 45% is sold in south for states. So they are the biggest. And west and east are also good. North is more studded jewelry, gemstones, diamonds, color stones, that. But in terms of gold, south is the biggest.
Wow. So when you want to go down south, maybe they made that movie KGF, the gold mines and all, maybe that was the reason why. As a market, India compared to the rest of the world, are we on par with them, since we know that we have a larger amount of reserves, as you mentioned, so much buying more? Has the world become a more gem-related market and lesser of gold, or?
Yes. The world has moved to more studded, more fashion jewelry.
Right.
But India still commands 80 to 85% of Indian jewelry market is still gold.
Okay.
Because gold has a cultural relevance to us.
Right.
So if you interestingly see, right from Janam to Maran, each occasion that in India we have, there is gold involved. Because even Maran, I am saying, because in certain communities when a person dies, they give a ladder, gold ka ladder,
ताकि afterlife में जा सके.
स्वर्ग में जा सको. So it is so intertwined in our culture.
Right.
और उसका relevance भी है, because common people, मतलब 100-200 साल पहले, they were not aware of saving, कैसे saving करे, क्या करे, और farmer community थी, जहाँ पे मतलब बारिश नहीं हुआ, कुछ हुआ, तो they wanted to fall back. So ये हर एक occasion में सोना लेने का व्यवहार तभी आया ताकि unknowingly they start saving and their safety comes in. So our culture has been interesting, and gold is a part of it.
Huge part of the south, if you want to look at it, 45% of India's gold is bought down south. I mean, it's bought down south. It's fantastic. Sometimes do these numbers excite you? I mean, as a businessman also, because it's a business as well.
Right.
And in the coming episodes, we'll talk about how you have to balance this fine art of selling as well as culture, tradition. There's so much in tradition and art as well. As a businessman, do numbers excite you? Are you somebody that is, out there, more growth? Because from what I see is you're more measured. And from whatever the discussion we've had so far, and you're, like I said, keep properly pair jama ke aage. But number expansion, is there some plan to explode?
We are at 25, but in next 5 years we hope to be close to 50.
Okay.
So it's
that's quick double.
But compared to what other people are doing, it's a measured growth path that we want. Because as a family, we are a conservative family. और जैसे आपने कहा सोच के करना पड़ा है. So 4 to 5 stores a year is what our expansion plans are.
Well, that's the best thing. That's why these families don't fail. And that's why you have no third generation that has destroyed it. This is the third generation that has multiplied it many times over. On this Power List, like I said, there's so much more discussion that we'll have in the coming weeks with Ashish Pethe ji from Waman Hari Pethe. You can catch this interview. It's a 3-part interview that will come on radiocity as well as midday, on the YouTube platforms as well as online. And trust me, it'll be an enriching experience, not just from the perspective of whether you want to learn about this business, which we will discuss if you want to get into this business, what are the do's and don'ts, but also to understand the value of gold, how it's so traditionally entwined in our culture. My name is Salim and I'll catch you soon. Bye-bye.